Hi, it's Naomi from Fluffy Boots Crochet Creations. I hope you're having a wonderful day. So today's video is going to be a combination of a few things. It's going to be the vlog, and it's also going to be National Crochet Month Challenge, as well as a couple little tidbits that, well, I guess that falls under vlog. So yeah, never mind. Woo! Already off to a rocky start. So let's start with the National Crochet Month Challenge because I am late, unfortunately. Had some things going on in RL, so have not really had a chance to work on my vlogs or any videos for that matter. And if you hear my cat, she's upset because she just realized that I'm recording and she's not in here. So she is my little camera diva. What can I say? Just one second. Okay, so first off, um, for the sorry, I was getting ready to talk and I was like, crap, I'm going to cough. So I paused the video so I wouldn't cough in your ear. All right, so for what we are going to be going through is day 21 through 27. I have little notes over here. I'm going to try really hard to be like on point. Because a little tiny funny story is that this is my third recording of my vlog. My very first recording, um, I actually recorded last week, believe it or not. And then I was just like, you know what? Why am I doing this one right now? Because I want to get a few things done between now and then. So I deleted that. Then yesterday's video, um, I had visitors, mainly one, and she was in the video 7 different times. And then my other cat was in the video. And then I was just like so chatty that it was like an hour and a half worth. And I went, okay, well, it's an hour and a half. What can I do? And so I went and tried to do editing on it. And I was almost done to the end of the video. And I had said my, thanks for watching thing. And then for some reason, I had stuck the beginning back on it. And I was just like, okay, well, I don't need that, so I'm going to take it off. But I didn't take it off. And somehow I really screwed it up. So after a couple of hours of editing my video, that happened. And I'm just like, you know what, forget it. I'll just redo it tomorrow. It's fine. Not a big deal. I'm not going to sit here and edit more. So. So the first thing is day 21, and that is finished makes. And if you've been around before, you'll know oh, excuse me, I'm going to have to clear my throat. Sorry, it was like I could hear my voice going. I hate that. I'm trying to sit back a little farther today, but I keep on leaning like I'm telling you, we're leaning across the table at a cafe and I'm telling you all the dirty gossip. I don't know. I don't normally do that sort of thing, so I'm not really sure how that would be, but that's the scenario in my head. So I'm just going to own it. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to show you a couple pictures of the makes I finished in February, because unfortunately, as much as I would love to say, yeah, I got this done and this done and this done, I haven't. Like a lot of people, spring, as pretty as it might be, brings a lot of pollen, and my allergies have worked up. Then I had other things going, doctor's appointments, and I have just really fallen behind on things. So, trying to think what I showed you last. Oh, like my animal auction blanket. Unfortunately, my cat the other night was in here and she had stepped on the Afghan and she got her claw stuck, and she had caused one of the yarns to split, as they do if you snag it on something, you get the couple of little lines of yarn here and there. Yeah. So I had to rip out 4 rows because unfortunately it was almost near like midpoint of what I had done. So I haven't gotten back to that yet. I haven't finished my dragon bag yet. It was supposed to be finished this week, I know. I'm sorry. Hold on. Boy, the camera diva just wants in here. She's just like, no, I know you are on that camera, Mom. I need to be on that camera. Um, so the dragon bag, same reason, didn't get done. And let's see, what was the other thing? Oh, I haven't woven in my ends on my wrap or my other blanket that's done because I just haven't got to it. It's on my list. I just haven't done it yet. They're waiting, patiently waiting for me to get to them. And then I'd started this shawl for Judy's monthly make along. And the first one I did, and I even showed a picture of it, or I showed the actual one on one of the other videos. I want to say it was the other vlog. But the farther I got on it, I was just like, I don't like this pattern. It looks pretty, but I don't like the way I've done it right now. Um, so I decided I'm just ripping it out. So that's what I did. And then I started another another shawl in its place, and I'm doing the modified version of Crystal Abego Day's Birds of the Night, excuse me. And it's inspiring me. It's giving me some like ideas on it. So I've been like, oh, this reminds me of, and all I'm going to tell you is it's an ancient Egyptian goddess. I'm not going to say more. But if you know anything about me, I love history. I definitely love ancient Egyptian. Anything. I, I get very obsessed over that. Um, yeah, so let me show you that at least, and then I'll show you the pictures of what I finished in February. So 1 second here. Let me make sure I got the right side going up. You ready? So this is it so far. I stopped there last night because I finally went, it's 3 o'clock in the morning and I'm a little sleepy. I don't think I'll have this done in time for the make, but I'm not doing bad on it. I've only been working on it for 4 days now, I think. So not too terribly bad. And get it in a little closer so you can see. But yeah, that's that make so far. And I did realize after I had started it that it was on my yarn that I had not reviewed, the twister yarn from Hobie. So that was like, oh, that was probably not a smart thing to do. I do know it's cotton and acrylic. I don't have the label in front of me, so I'm not going to give you a lot of details. And I will just show you, this is what I have left. Well, there's a little bit more, but I should be able to finish, if not in time for this month's turn-in for Judy's. I can always use it for another make-along if that's what it comes down to. So the 2 makes I did finish in February are the one wrap and the Perot clown. I'm sure I said that name wrong. I always do. But there they are. So those are my finished makes for day 21. Day 22 is actually a pretty easy one for me because I have, it wants to know my favorite hook. And I have really a favorite hook company, which if, hold on, I'll grab it. Sorry. So if you have been around for a while, you have probably seen that I do a lot of crocheting with my furrow hooks. Now, this is just a very small selection of my furrows. I'm trying to show you the whole dang dootin' thing. There. This is the Odyssey hook. This is my 2.75 or 2.25. I can never remember the size that theirs was. This probably is my absolute favorite hook. I'm very devastated to only have this one. I had wanted to buy all of them. Unfortunately, when they did have them, they started not stocking them. And every time they did a restock, I couldn't buy more. So that's this one. Now, I do have smaller hooks. I have them drying right now because I did the top coat thing that, sorry, Lucas from Lucas Yarns had talked about, and it's a plastic covered, it's a hook with the kind of foamy thing on it, and it's drying because I just put the stuff on it. But I love my furrows and my resin and my Odyssey. I have my two steel hooks, which you may or may not have seen. I also have the wood hooks that are furrows. I don't have a complete section. I don't have a complete set of any of the furrows hooks because I tend to buy the sizes that I use the most, which I think most of us probably do. And so the sizes I use are usually 5 to 6 for the higher end, down to my lower end for amigurumi, so I can go down to 1.5. Had it read what size I have. And then of course I have my steel hooks that are the very dainty sizes. So yeah, that's I don't want to have a complete set of the furls if I'm not going to use all the sizes. I started to buy a more complete set in the steels, or no, was it the steels? No, it was in the mystery hooks. If you haven't done the furls mystery hooks, they're kind of fun to do. They're all the resin, and you don't get to choose what color it is. You can choose your size, and that's it. And they might have the slightest flaws that most of us wouldn't even notice. And that's where I get a lot of my resin hooks. I do that because it's a mystery. Who doesn't love a mystery? I love a mystery. Oh my gosh, yes. Whew. So, yeah. Favorite hook, furls. I do have other hooks, obviously. Um, but hands down, I do prefer my furls. Um, I haven't tried the Clover Amours. My daughter got them a couple of years ago for Christmas. She loves them. She thinks they're great. I wanted some, but she told me I just bought hooks, so I couldn't have any for Christmas, which was just like, you know. Oh, I do have one other set that I do like, which is my Sorella, and this is the case it came in, and I'll just do you a quick little peek see. So that is what it looks like. It starts at the smallest size is, oh, I did this last night too. I haven't used this one, so it's a little tighter. 2.25 for that, and then it goes up to a 6. Just a straight 6, yeah. Just a straight 6. And they are kind of a peachy color for the handles. They're a little bit softer. They're like not really a foam, but kind of rubberized. And then this is, of course, brushed, or not, matte rose gold. I don't know why I said brushed. They're not brushed. So that's another set that I love. I have used these. I had the case up for a while because it was getting really dirty, and because, you know, I have cats, and so I have hair, and this is white, and it finds its way onto it. It's like black. The two colors that collect hair the most. I usually wear black, and my case is white, so what you gonna do? Anyways, so those are my favorite hooks. I will someday do a video with all my favorite hook. Well, not just all my hooks, but all my hooks in general, because it is kind of fun to see what people collect. So, yeah. Okay, so the next part is going to be interesting. Let us see if we can do it without having. Well, actually, I will have to. Um, I cut my finger apparently. It's showing you my crochet workspace, so I will figure out a way to do that. Well, you know what? We'll just do it this way. I'm gonna just move my camera, and I'll pause it before I do that. So this is my workspace, and as you can see, it is not a very big workspace. You know, I got some hooks over here drying. Um, you can see my skull, kind of see it over there. And then, of course, the yarn. I know it looks a mess. It actually is not. It is just a lot of yarn. It's how I roll. Um, I I used to have a much bigger work area when I was sewing and uh, making quilts. I needed a full size. If I was sewing today, my work area would be much different. I wouldn't be able to have my computer on it. Um, I wouldn't be able to have my shelves over here. But I started doing smaller um, crafts, art, many years ago. About 20 years ago, I started doing jewelry. Then I got into needle felting, and now with the crocheting, I found I don't need a super huge place. I do need it clean, so my little area is always clean. Um, my cats, of course, have a bigger area because they lay full flat on my table. And it's just, I've gotten used to using a smaller work area. So some people won't be able to understand because some people don't like the chaotic clutter or chaotic workspace. But me, personally, I like to pull yarns. If I'm considering doing a project, I will pull yarns. I put it over my workspace so that I can, keep glancing over at it, going, oh, yeah, that might work. And then if I decide it's not going to work for what I want to do, I will put up the yarn. But generally, I leave yarn over here for, a few days to a couple weeks. Especially if I'm almost done with one thing, I like to have the next project lined up to go. So that is how I roll. I know there's other people that like to have their yarn too, and sometimes you just like to pick up your own yarn and feel it and play with it a little. So yeah, I'm not gonna apologize for having a chaotic workspace, because when you are someone who works in the chaotic creative realm, it's nice to have that yarn there. And you don't always know where inspiration's going to come from. Like, for me, I like to watch a uh, channel called The Break Courses, I think it is. And one of the series that I like is by Edwin Barnhart, Professor Edwin Barnhart. And he does a series on lost worlds of South America. And he actually will show you photographs of things that you may not see that are of cultures, and that's their adornments, their decorations, their artwork, and it's very inspiring. You see the colors that they use. You see these beautiful things of the ancient world that you may never have seen before, and it's gorgeous, and it inspires me. Of course, I'm a history buff, and there's a reason why history inspires me, because there's so much that we've lost that we are trying to, find again and recreate the beauty that we just kind of assumed that, for whatever reason, I think as we get farther in our future, we just kind of assume, as you go, 100 years or more in the past, you start assuming people don't have the same access to the same colors, and they may have the same access, but they chose a different way. Excuse me. They chose a different way of showing it. And plus, different times in history, different clothing ideas, different textiles, So, yeah, history, I love it. I do. I'm going to take a drink of water real quick, and I'll be right back. Sorry about that. So, yeah, that was day 23. I don't think I said that at the beginning. I will mark it when I do my editing. So, the next thing is granny squares. I only have a couple to show you because most everything else is. Well, actually, I don't have a lot of granny square. I have 20 in a containers. I think they're over on my. They might be over there, or they might be in the basket. Who knows for sure? Sorry. The only reason I say who knows for sure is they were just moved a couple months ago, and I just don't recall which basket they're in. I know they're in the basket. I know they're just waiting for me to get back to them. I just haven't yet. I haven't even decided if I'm actually going to finish the project I started with them. I'm sure you have gone through that yourself, working on something. It's not necessarily sometimes that you don't like it, sometimes it's just a matter of, this is going to take a lot longer than I was figuring. I can't really get to that right now. So these were part of that. I was going to be making my brother for Christmas the Burrows Throw from the Harry Potter Crochet Wizardry. I think I said that name right. And as I got about 20 done, which was almost an entire cake, well, no, about a half of a cake, I realized I am not going to have enough time to finish this when I have to make other things as well. And then I got hit with being asked to make extra Afghans for Christmas. So, that being said, I had to completely stop what I was going to be doing on his Afghan and the Afghan I was making my dad. They got put aside, and then I started to try to make a different style for him. And I had done something wrong. I know what I did now, but at the time I was just like, oh, I don't know what I did wrong. It's all wonky. and I just didn't have time to sit down and, figure out what I did wrong. If I did, I probably would have had it finished in a decent amount of time, but when you're in a time crunch, sometimes the things that you're planning, the more elaborate styles, just aren't going to work, and you just have to say, it's okay for me to put this aside. And that's what I did. So, um, I ended up making with the right there the blanket yarn from Burnett. Um, I made 4 Afghans that were similar, um, or 3 Afghans that were similar, then one that was made out of Premier puzzle yarn, so that I could get those done quickly for Christmas without issue, and then be able to move forward. So back to the granny squares. Now I will show you real quick the granny square mitered Afghan that I made, because it is a granny square. So that's it right there. And that was for a gift for Christmas, and that is made out of puzzle yarn and the 2-1 color theory, I think, is um, the darker color, or the darker solids in there. Anyways, so here is 2 little granny squares that I started. Sorry, one sec. Sorry about that. I had to move a couple of things around and cough again. So these are the 2 that came from the blanket that I had started for him. I think I'll probably finish it up. Um, don't know if it will be one I will give him for sure, because I did make him one, so we'll see. But it is made out of Cascade's Whirligig yarn. Sorry, I had to stop and think. Unfortunately, they don't make this coloring anymore, which is sad because it's such a pretty coloring. But I love their yarn. It's very soft. It's, just working with it, you just feel like you want to cuddle up with with whatever you're making. So those are the granny squares. So let's move on. All right, so that was day 24. Day 25 is why I crochet. So the reason I crochet is I find it relaxing. I enjoy it. I enjoy taking something that is innocuous as a cake of yarn and taking this and turning it into something completely different, a garment. There's just something, or a blanket, or accessory, anything like that, but there's just something so very satisfying as to take something that most people would look at and go, I have no idea what I would do with that, and you in turn can create something that is completely unique and your own style. And no matter how many times you make something the same way, whether you're using the same color yarn, you could have a different dye lot, or you could do a couple of stitches different. Every piece is unique, and there's something I really like about that. Now, that's not saying that everybody is like that. There are people out there who, if they know they're going to make something and they want it to look the same, will buy enough yarn to make that project completely identical. Um, I personally like randomness. I want to be unique. I find a comfort in being unique as a person and as a crocheter. So for me, when I make things, I did the same thing when I'm making jewelry. I did the same thing making my quilts. I've done it in everything I've ever done. I don't want things to look 100% identical to the next thing I may use with that pattern. Everything I feel needs to have a little bit of a change to it, a beautiful imperfection, as it were, if you've made a mistake and you don't see the mistake till the end, or you have just changed one color. Um, it could be so many different things, but to me, that is what makes a personal, handcrafted art piece, as it were, object, clothing. Sorry, my cat's doing it again. Okay, I think I can talk over because she's just doing this a little bit. She claws at the door because it's annoying, and she knows it annoys me. So that's what she does to get my attention. Um, but yeah, that's to me is something that gr- brings me great pleasure. Um, Creating something that is my own. So like a great example is the birds of the night. Oh, now I'm not going to be able to. Sorry, she started getting a little too loud, and I knew I would never be able to talk over her. Um, so like the birds of the night shawl that Bago Day did. She did it one way, which was beautiful, and I love it. But as I started working on it and started seeing how the colors were playing, I was just, you know what? I want to make it like this. And so I played with it for a couple hours, changing a couple of things around, see what I liked. Found what I liked, went for it. And now, yes, it is her pattern, but it's me. I have put me into it. When I finish it, it may be the pattern may have been the catalyst that started it, but the final project is me. It is my creation. I did the same thing with the fringed clown. It was a beautiful pattern. I loved it. But once I got to the point that it was time to really start personalizing it, I did colors on the cheeks and the eyes, and I changed the way that the eyes looked. I changed the way that he stood. I made him leaning in for a secret and, covering his mouth. And it, it was those little things that changed it from an exact copy of the pattern, which I could do. I could. I don't. I very rarely will 100% follow a pattern. It's very hard for me to do that, because then I feel like I guess it would be like if I was getting paid, say, to make a pattern, and I had to follow it 100% because I was not representing me, I was representing the pattern maker. And that's totally different. Like if you're testing a pattern for someone, or you're um, following it because the person who gave it to you is just like, I love it the way it is, just make it that way. So yeah, you make it that way. But for me, and I'm sure for quite a lot of people out there, following a pattern is great. Following what someone does is great, but you want to put yourself in there too. Because at the end of the day, that crochet project that you just finished has all your time in it. It has your stitches, your personality, and it represents you. So you want to show you in what you created. So for me, and as I said, I'm sure there's a lot of people who do the same thing. I have to change something. I have to make it my own. And I may only start following a pattern to like the 10, 10 rows, 20 rows maybe. And then it's like, okay, now I need to change it so that it's me again. It's just how I create. I have done it in everything I've ever made. I do not make exact copies of things. With my jewelry, unless I was making earrings, I never, ever, ever made an exact copy of things. Even when I made the bracelets for my daughter's wedding, which I'll show you a picture of here. Move myself all the way. Those bracelets there, I did the same stitch, the same bracelet over and over and over for a month for her bridal shower. The only thing that changed was the stones that I used. Because when it comes to, and I'm just going to put a couple other pictures of jewelry I've made up here since we're talking about it at the moment. When it comes to creating, I want to create something that says, I touched this. It went from my brain to my fingers to the object. I hope that makes sense. Sometimes I don't think I make a lot of sense. But yeah. It's just how I create. If it's not going to have my personality on it, if I'm just simply 100% following, a sewing pattern or a quilt pattern, jewelry pattern, um, crochet, then for me, there's no point doing it because I've taken out the one part that I love of being a creative person, and that is I've taken out the creative part. So long as I can have that creative bone in my body and I make things, I want it to be something that I make that shows me. So when I talk about a pattern where I say, so and so made this pattern, I don't have a problem whatsoever doing that. I personally think artists, pattern artists as well as crochet artists, any artist out there who works with any medium needs to be able to say they made it, and they need other people who follow their pattern whatever to respect that and say that. But I will say um modified for me, or I modify the pattern, or what have you. I give them credit for the beginning to get me started, but when I get to the end, it's me. I hope that makes sense. I think we'll leave that alone because I'm feeling like I'm repeating here. All right, that was day 25. So day 26 is background noise, and that's pretty easy for me because it's like everything else in my life. It depends on the mood I'm in. So, if it's TV that I'm watching or a streaming, I should say for me, um, it's history, it's true crime, it's dramedy, it's drama or comedy. It just depends on the mood I'm in. I might decide I'd rather listen to an audiobook, depending on. Oh, excuse me, I'm going to cough again. So sorry about that. A lot of coughing today. Um, I may listen to an audiobook, or I may just put on some music, or if, especially if it's something that I'm really trying to concentrate on the pattern, because I have never used it before, which is what I'm doing when I do the Afghan. I just put on something like white noise sound, like rain falling, and then I can listen to it and I can read, And if I have to read a couple of times for it to click in, then that's okay. And then the same is true. Well, no. The one exception to almost everything is YouTube. If I put on someone I follow, especially if it's a live chat, I will start chatting because, well, let's face it, that is what most of us are there for. We're, talking to our friends and saying hi to people and having discussions, and we're talking to the person who's hosting it. And we're all like, okay, cool, let's just do this. And then it's like, you know what? I am not getting a single thing done, which is what happened on Sunday. I first started watching Juan and his mom, and then I went to Mishi's, and then I ended in Mara's, and I don't think in any of those I really got more than maybe one or two rows done. Um, with Juan and his mom just makes me smile the whole time, and I'm just sitting there going, Mama, you are so adorable. If he only knew the faces you were making right now at him, you know, it's just, she reminds me so much of my mom. My mom would do that sort of thing where she'd just be like, oh, yeah, right. Well, that's not the face she'd make because that was a me face. It was just my example. I don't know. I kind of lost that one. YouTube channels that I follow, I do find it harder to crochet when I'm watching them. I know that it's supposed to be, you can just listen to them. And I do. I'm not saying I never do, because I do. But if it's a yarn review, yeah. Those ones I find really hard to, are not yarn review, yarn unboxing. Those ones I find very hard to crochet and watch because I will do this thing where I'm like 3 or 4 stitches and then they'll show something new and then I stop and I watch them for 4 or 5 minutes and then I do 3 or 4 more stitches. It's just how it is. It's the same with tutorials. If a tutorial comes on and I watch it, I am sitting there just going, can I go ahead and start that now? Would that be okay? Which of course it's not, because the whole point I'm watching things is because I'm working on something in my hand. But yeah, that's just how it is. That's YouTube and following my YouTube channels. And I have so many channels. And if you're a YouTube channel that I follow and you're watching this video, I do apologize if I don't get to your videos right away. I try. I have so many people I follow, and I try to at least go in and do at least the most recent videos. Sometimes I might go backwards some. I do. I try to catch everyone. There's just so many of us that I follow. I just sometimes kind of struggle getting everybody done. That's the way it is. So, 1 second more. I have allergies today and they're making me cough a lot, so I really do apologize for having to keep stop, but I don't want to cough in your ear. And I'm sure if you heard me coughing, you'd be like, thank you so much for blowing out my eardrum. So day 27 is what we're up to, which is the last one we're doing today. Yay. And it's yarn storage. And if you've watched any other videos that I've done or just watching this one, you can see an example of my yarn storage right now. I will lean back just a little. Okay, I didn't really do much there. I have all my hand dyeds right here. Um, they're they were they were sorted into an order, but when I pull things out and then I put things back in, and then it's like I got, different makers with everything. It's okay though. It's my inspiration right here. This is my all my beautiful hand dyes. And then these, I have a set over here, and then I have sets on the other side of the room. These are over here is my work in progress. This top one though is yarn that I want to get to this year for a blanket. So it's pulled. The one down below it is my work in progress, and the ones down here and all the way to the floor are my ow, um, YouTube, what did I call that? YouTube content, I think is what I just referred to it as. It's basically for any challenges or projects that are coming up that I know I want to use that yarn for. I shop that first before I go look at the other side of the room or in the boxes in the other room, because I have those too. And I do have yarn off to the side here, which we'll just kind of waylay into right now. So that was, all my stuff for National Crochet Month Challenge for up to day 27th. Now we're going to go into the other things. So I do have some yarn reviews coming up. I have the yarn actually off to the side over here of all the yarn that I want to show in an unboxing and a stitch review. I don't know why that threw my head off so much. And I have for three places right now. It's just like anything else. I have to wait till I have time to do it. I just haven't had time. I want to get them done soon because I do want to be able to put the yarn into its homes, so I don't have to keep looking over there and going, oh, I have to do those reviews. I don't mind. I love yarn, so I love talking about yarn, and I love showing it and sharing it with you, my friends here. But sometimes I just get busy, as all of us do. It's just the way the world works. you know, I can't always get to everything I want as soon as I want. So that leads me into the next part. So I decided I wanted to add a couple of things onto my plate. The problem is, now that I'm kind of sitting here and I'm looking at things, I'm like, now I'm not really sure I can add those on to my plate. And I just watched Linda from Knit and Crochet with Linda and June, and she was talking about how she's taken a step back to spend more time with her family, and how she's going to be doing her videos from now on. And I got to thinking, am I adding too much onto my plate at one time? Am I causing myself too much stress? Am I allowing myself time to do other things? Because, all right, let's just talk about the big elephant in the room. Yeah, I'm overweight. I'm sure you did not notice at all, but I am. And unfortunately, I put on too much weight recently. Well, not, I say recently, but it's been like the last 2 years. For me, that's recently. I used to walk every day. I was walking up to 6 miles a day. Then I got really sick. And I do mean really sick. And it wasn't even COVID. It was just, I think, combination of exhaustion from working on the stuff for my daughter's wedding. Um, because I was, oh my gosh, I was working on that stuff sometimes, 16 hours a day, and trying to clean the house and do everything else that I had to do. And I think the exhaustion got me, and I got a cold, and that cold stuck around for a couple of weeks, and then I caught the flu. Because, if you're going to get one, you might as well get the other, I guess. I don't know. Um, but I had lost quite a bit from walking, gotten myself in a really good spot for the health, and then we started having some issues in this area. Issues that presented itself in a way that was a little more dangerous, I guess you could say. We started having some homeless encampments that were really close to where I live on either side, and they were in the park, and they were getting a little bit concerning for me to go walking because, like I've said before, it's just me and my dad, and I'm his care provider. So when it comes to putting myself in a situation that could be a little bit on the scary side of taking a chance of getting attacked, because a lot of the places I was walking, um, there was not a lot of people around. You might see one or two other people, and sometimes there were days I went out and I didn't see anyone, which were my favorite days because I could, I didn't have, not that I don't like people, don't get me wrong, but when you're in that state when you're wanting to walk, and for me the part that I loved about walking was you're alone with your thoughts. You can like go over things in your head, maybe work out a problem, which actually I used to do all the time. That I would, especially if it was something with jewelry related, because I was mainly doing my jewelry at that time. I was able to work out a problem in my brain and be able to go, okay, so now that I'm not looking at it in front of me, let's work through this problem that I just ran into. What am I going to do? It helped a lot. It really did. But my walking areas started becoming a little bit more dangerous. I didn't want to take the chance of going out and walking. So I was kind of waiting at first after I got done being sick to see if we were able to get rid of some of the issues, some of the homeless encampments that were causing issues around the area. Um, it took quite a long time for that to happen. And then I did start walking again, got sick again, unfortunately. And then it just got to the point that I became more and more worried about possibly getting out and getting hurt, leaving my dad with no one to take care of him. And it was not something that, I wanted to chance. But, but, having started this YouTube challenge, or channel, started the YouTube channel, I don't know. It's kind of, it sounds kind of funny in its own way, but I'm gonna own it. I'm gonna own it 100%. It sounds kind of funny, but it has given me that confidence again to be like, okay, yeah, you know what? I can go out and do this. So maybe I can't do the same places that I used to walk. I'll just find a new place to walk because I need that break for an hour to 2 hours a day of just being able to get out of the house, go for a walk, be alone with my thoughts, figure out problems if I'm having an issue with something. Um, just get out and enjoy. So I am going to start doing that. So you will be starting to see, um, this part that I really hate. Um, yeah, as I start walking, it changes my eating habits um, drastically. which is kind of odd and funny. I have to actually be a little more careful when I am walking. I have to, make sure I have so many calories a day. I had gotten to the point, I did very dangerous. For about 2 months, I was only eating 800 calories a day. I was drinking plenty of fluids. I thought I was getting enough food in me, and my doctor's like, "Oh, no, 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 we're not doing that anymore. I understand that you don't feel like you can eat much now, but you can't do that. That's very, very bad for you." And I had to add in like protein shakes in there, and it's just like, okay, so I had to learn how to rebalance my food, and then yeah, so here I am confessing something I did not plan on telling you all this today. That was not even on my list, but I'm like, we're friends here, and I appreciate you guys, and I think you will understand where I'm coming from, and maybe there's other people out there who have the same issue. You want to do it, or you want to get out and exercise, or you want to get your eating better, and it's what I want to do, because my goal is to get myself back to where I'm healthy enough that I can talk with my doctor about weight loss surgery. Now, I know there's going to be people who will object to that and be like, "Oh, I heard all this horror stories." Well, I have too, obviously. It's I'm 55 years old. I've heard a lot of horror stories, but I know two people who have had it, who have had really good success. One is my daughter's former mother-in-law, and the other is my daughter. Now, my daughter is more new to it. She just had it 2 weeks ago now, but she is healing fantastic. She's active again. She's doing great on it, and I want to get down to that place, because eventually I'm hoping she will have kids, and I would really like to be here for my grandkids. It's, it's just how it is. I think a lot of us who are a little older, I'm not saying like I'm like, I ain't walking around in a walker or anything. Not that that's bad by any means. I'm just, I'm at that age now that I don't want to reach my 60s and 70s and people go, "Oh, you're so old." I want to be able to, like, "No, I'm not. Come here. You come walk 6 miles with me, and then you tell me that I'm too old." Yeah. Yes, I do want to get back up to 6 miles a day. I used to love that. Oh my gosh, I love that so much. Oh, that's what happened. I didn't get sick again. I hurt myself. I hurt myself really bad. I ended up causing I pulled a ligament. Yeah, because I was pushing. I was trying to make more than six, and I did too much. And I had to take another 2 months off of walking to heal, which sucked. So, anyways, I just wanted to be, upfront and honest, because I let you guys into my life. And you guys are very important to me. I really hope you realize that. I love everyone who subscribes to my channel and is here for my, you know, weirdness. I I'm weird. I own it. You know what? I'm cool with being weird. I really am. Oh, by the way, my daughter made this. Yeah, she's a very talented young lady. But you know, I do appreciate you, and I really appreciate the fact that you enjoy my channel enough to subscribe, and I hope you tell other people about my channel, and I hope they will enjoy it. And yes, at some point, I would like to become bigger. I don't expect it to happen overnight, you know. That'd be weird. Sign in one day and you have 1 million subscribers. I'd be like, what? No. Back it up. That won't happen. Don't worry. I'm just being plain silly now. But that does bring up one thing that I wanted to talk to you about. If and when, well, not if, when I reach 1,000 subscribers, I am going to do a giveaway. I have my friend from Crow and Crescent Yarn. She's not sure if she's going to be using this yarn as a regular basis, regular stock, I should say. And so, because I have such a good standing with her and we are friends, she's always like, what I say about, pre-orders over here, or you can't order after that doesn't apply for you. You just tell me what you want and I will do it. And she will. She's just awesome. So, I am going to do a giveaway. And the only way you will know about the giveaway right now is if you've made it this far into the video, because I am not going to announce it anywhere else. Now, this will not happen until, if I feel like it's taking me too long to reach 1,000, I will put it at 500. But what I'm going to do is the giveaway, if it's at 500, will not have as many items, as it were. 1,000 will have more, and then I'll do it again at probably 15 and then 2,000 and so forth, just in the 500 to and up marks. The more people that are subscribed, the more I will put into a giveaway. But the first giveaway right now will feature these yarns here. These are called Interplanet Janet. I think I'm going to do 4 of those. I haven't decided 100%. She's just now taking pre-orders, so she's not dying for probably... Usually the way she does it is as she gets her pre-orders, she dies in sets, so she probably won't have mine ready like till a week after I tell her that, okay, I'm ready to order that. So I'm going to use the Inner Planet Jen. I'm going to put that back up here. And then I'm also going to put in another one called Witch's Woods, which is my favorite color, green. And it's such a gorgeous green. It's like so gorgeous. And I will put in 2 of those. Now, as I said, as we go farther on, if if we're getting more people subscribed and we keep increasing the channel, the more I will put in the giveaway. Right now, the giveaway is probably just going to be United States. However, depending on when that happens, I may go ahead and open it for international. I will not make that decision yet until we are closer to that. And then at that time, I will possibly open it up for international as well. It's just going to depend on what the shipping is sitting at that time, and where we are sitting at for in the timeline of subscribers. I hope that made sense. I feel like I really explained that part well. I'm so sorry. I did want to talk about just a couple other things. Now I have added a couple of things onto my plate, but I honestly don't figure we'll have these done in the time that they're supposed to be done. One is the mood board that Gary from Urban Yarn is doing. I've already picked out my song. I've already picked out my yarn actually for it, which I'll grab right here. It's going to be in these 3 yarns. Um, Pretty, I think. So I'll talk about all this at another time as well. Um, when I'm closer to even starting on that. It's supposed to be done by the 15th of April. That's what I have in place for my getting the Afghan done is the 15th to 20th so that I have enough time to ship it to Bristol, which is a bigger priority for me right now than starting another challenge, honestly, because I really, really love the idea of helping rescue animals out. My two cats, they have the same mother, but they don't have the same father. And the second kitten, when I got her, she was not in a good situation at all. Um, she's considered a rescue because when I got her, she was not in good shape. They were infested with fleas, and I do mean infested. They had her and her brother. My neighbor got the brother. They were just everywhere. I treated her first night. She had fleas falling off of her after she got treated. Then she threw up all these fleas, and it was horrible. And she had on her paw, she had this big like clump of something. We couldn't figure out what it was, and so I just started slowly working it to see if I could figure out what it was because she wouldn't use the litter box because of it. It was causing too much trouble. And it turned out that it was a combination of crusted litter and blood. And unfortunately, by the time I got down to the base of it, it's so sad. She had only one claw on that paw that was still viable. She has little stumps now at 2 years old of no, she has two claws because two stumps where her claws did not grow back in, and so she has the one on the back of her paw and then just one on the front and then the two little stumps, and she's already having some arthritis in it, although that doesn't stop her at all because she's just a little mad woman. She is constantly on the go. um but excuse me, I'm going to cough again. I'm so sorry. um but yeah, so doing an animal auction for people that are there to help the rescues, and they're helping those that maybe can't afford the regular services, that's really important. So if I can get this Afghan done and sent to her, I'm going to be so excited. I should be able to, once I can get to that point that I say, okay, I'm done with the rest, everything else is going to have to be put on hold, which I am doing as of midnight on the 28th. At that time, if the shawl is not done, I'll just take a picture of it as it is, send it to Judy and let her know, hey, I just couldn't get it done, but I wanted to show you what I'm working on. And then from that point on till I get the Afghan done, um, I'm not going to be doing anything else. I may say I'm doing a challenge, but if it interferes with the Afghan on the timeline to get it in for like a prize or recognition or any of that, it's not a big deal for me because let's face it, challenges, mals, cows, they will always be around. Someone's always going to have one somewhere. And I would love to be able to do every single one I come across because I do get very excited about them. I'm also going to be doing the BOD replay that Jax is putting on, and again, I it doesn't matter when the date for it to be turned in on because I'm not doing it necessarily for that. I'm just doing it because I like to challenge myself as a crocheter. there's just, I don't know, there's something exciting about it. The only challenge that I will definitely do, because I can do it after I get the month done, will be the Judy's monthly. I'm not doing the things we're making Thursday for the month of April. I will do one video the first part of April to show the dragon bag once it's done. And that'll also be in the monochromatic mall that Mama G and Rusty are putting on. That one will be in there. And then I'll work on, once I get the Afghan done, which will be a big relief to have it done and clean and ready to go, mailed off. And then I can go back to finishing any other mails. And then by that time, the end of April, we should be getting ready to do several other. Well, no, I think the spring cow with one call starts on the 15th. So hopefully I'll get it there. If not, it'll be by the 20th I'll do it. If the Afghan's done by then. If for some reason I am unable to finish the Afghan, which I hope is not going to be the case, but if for some reason it does happen, I will still send it if she's having an auction the following summer. But if not, I will just make a bigger donation when it comes to when she does the um, actual auction. So I think that is. Oh no, I did have one other thing. Sorry, I'm super chatty. It seems with a sore throat. But let me just talk about this last thing and then we can call it good. So I am going to be making a series, two series of videos. They will not start till it will be probably now the 1st of May is when I will start them, because yet again, I want to get this Afghan done. This is very important for me. So what I am going to be doing at that time is I'm going to do a series on how to read a crochet pattern. I'm not doing knit because it's been, even though I can still read a knit pattern, it's been so long since I've actually done it. I don't want to introduce a knit item when it's been so terribly long since I've truly knit, which is like when I was 18 was the last time I did. So, a good while ago. So, what I want to do instead is the pattern reading for the crochet, and I'm going to start it. It's going to be threefold. It will be um, written by me, very simple pattern to start with. Then we'll go to a more advanced pattern, and then we'll end with an advanced pattern. And the very first one is, they're all three going to be just basically, like a small project washcloth size, not big at all. And I will show you not only how to read the pattern, but, we'll make it as we go. And the farther we go, the more complicated the stitches are, because that's the part that a lot of people start getting frustrated with, is because the more complicated the stitch is, the more parts to a stitch there are, or a pattern, depending on what you're doing. If you've ever watched Crystal's tutorial, she'll tell you how many repeats a row is. When you look at a written pattern of that same amount that you have to learn, it can get a little overwhelming. And I'm hoping by doing this series, I will be able to help people read patterns that maybe haven't read patterns before, or you're not a real strong crochet pattern reader. I know there's some people that learn just visual. Some people learn visual and um, reading. Or let's see, that's still visual. Visual and sound. I think that's how they put it. I'm not sure. Hearing. That's what they put it as. Sorry, I'm trying to read. I used to work in a oh my gosh, in the school system, and we did a course on how people learn, so that you weren't just assuming people were stupid, because it's not a matter of people being stupid. It's all a matter of how people learn. That's just how it is. Um, I don't really think there's stupid people out there, because I think that's a horrible word. I'm sorry. I'm being weird again. Um, I want to just help people to maybe be able to do something that they didn't think they could do before now. So if I can do that, that would be absolutely fantastic. And the second series I'm going to do is amigurumi. Now, this is not by any means going to be me showing some complicated thing. It is only going to be uh, informative on how to read an amigurumi pattern, who I like patterns by, who I find the best written patterns by, the best yarn to use that I have found, and the best hooks to use that I have found, and what the difference between the different hooks when you're looking at what you make. And then we will, at the last part of the series, we'll make a small little something. I haven't decided what it's going to be. It'll be small. It won't be too, overtaxing for anyone. It will hopefully help you see the difference in stitches. It won't have a lot of changes of colors or anything like that. Um, it's just to help you be able to see what, watching a video on it and reading a pattern is like. Because there are so many absolutely gorgeous patterns out there in amigurumi, as well as non amigurumi clothing, blankets, so forth. The sky's really is the limit. There's so much you can do. And I just want to hopefully, fingers crossed, hopefully be able to help. Even if it's just one person that I help be able to read a pattern, then everything's worth it. Because every person is important to me that is a subscriber to my channel or tells other people about my channel. So I want to just kind of give back a little something. And, as far as that giveaway goes, I may do a small 500 anyways, because that is a milestone. We just got over 200, which is really awesome. I am so thrilled. And I'm so, so seriously thankful for everyone who has decided to add me into your YouTube streets journey. I'm just this little tiny shop. I'm not, that little shop outside the other shop. Those little kiosks. I said that wrong, but kiosk. No, wait. Yeah, that's. I don't know. I've been talking too long. My brain's gone. But I'm a very small part of YouTube, and I do hope to continue to grow. I hope I continue to add to my friends. I hope that if you have never been here before and you have indeed made it to this far in the video, and if you did like what you saw, would you please consider subscribing to my channel and hitting that notification bell? And if you have been here before and you've enjoyed my videos, please give me a thumbs up and a comment. It does help us out for the algorithm. A funny little fact, yesterday on my notifications, I got a notification for my own video. I was just like, wait, what? and it threw me off completely. I was just like, why am I getting a notification? I've already released this. This is like a week old. And then it's like, oh, that's because it's being noticed. Yeah, sometimes the simple little things throw me off. But I do thank you so much, my friends, for joining me today for this video that was a little longer by a lot than I intended. But I hope you found it informative. I hope you found it interesting. Just leave me a message, a comment. Let me know what you think about the idea of the patterns series for amigurumi and non-amigurumi items. Is that something that you think you would enjoy? Um, if not, let me know. It will help me kind of plan how I want to do it. Also, to remind you that we do have still the Mother's Day celebration remembrance video if you are wanting to put something in there. For that, you do have till the 30th of April to send it to me. I do have a video I'll list in the description because I can't figure out how the heck you're supposed to embed it into your videos, linking other videos. I don't know. I know it's somehow out there. I just can't figure out how to do it. I don't know. I don't know. What you want? Okay, I'm gonna go because I'm getting really silly now. But I've enjoyed our talk today. I hope you have as well. I hope you enjoyed the little bit of content as far as what I've gotten done shown to you. The shawl mainly, because that's the main thing I've been working on for the last week. Otherwise, friends, I hope to see you again here soon. Until next time, bye.